A big hello and a warm welcome to all of you amazing and beautiful people out there. Welcome to my channel, The Twin Flame Union. And also welcome back to the channeling session, which is titled as Are You Here With Me? On the thumbnail, you would see that. And this is about the divine masculine who has found some kind of a relief and he has found some kind of a peace at the end of the tunnel right now. And he has witnessed a very difficult dark night of the soul. Very, heavy, very traumatic, very painful, miserable. He was miserable. But after that, he is in some melancholy places. He's spending time alone. He's not scared to be alone anymore. He's in his solitude. And he is thinking about the feminine very deeply, very intently, in a very profound manner, with a lot of respect towards her. And he is questioning her. Are you with me in this? And he knows that she's definitely a person who has suffered a lot in life, because earlier he used to think that she's very childish, she's not living up to her age, or she's so stupid, or she's so dumb. Maybe, he was able to get into bed with her very easily, he thought. So he thought that she's very stupid. But then he realized that she's not been with someone. When you touch someone's body, by the responses, and especially if you're very experienced, because he seems to be experienced, most divine masculines are, he realizes that no, she has not been with that many people, though she claims to say that I've been in many relationships. But there's a big difference in people who are in long-term relationships and flings or casual dating. So if she is with me, she definitely was in love with me. He's making all these realizations. And he also says to her, he is also talking to her and making many beautiful offers, because he has punished her, he has treated her badly, or he misunderstood her. And all of this somehow shows that he's a very good man. He's a man who's very kind-hearted. Otherwise, he would not have turned around and looked at the situation like this. It's very easy to say, yeah, you're a bad person. But we have to understand, did that person become bad because of choice? Or what is really good and bad? Isn't it just the need of the hour? And when we are mistaken, like when we do good instead of doing bad, or do bad instead of doing good, then also our soul will hurt a lot, because that is not the natural way of approaching things. Now, what has happened in the dark night of the soul for both of them? Though the dark night of the soul is placed differently on their timelines, but there is a very deep impact of the dark nights. As I was mentioning in part 1 of this series, that his dark night is different because his people have always been around him, very protective, taken care of him, always looked at all of his moves, celebrated him, cherished him, loved him, all possible ways, smothered him with love. But because he's become a wiser person, he realizes that this type of smothering is unhealthy for him. And maybe they are treating him like a child even now. He doesn't want to be treated like that. And why he got triggered by the divine feminine is because she would say, put it in his face, that you are a child, you are acting like a child, you are pampered like a child. You don't even know about third world problems, or you don't even know that someone could be poor or financially not sound, or how is it, because you are born with a silver spoon or a golden spoon or whatever. And though she is, technically very rich, because she has always been very abundant, but she never really wanted big things, So whatever she wanted, she was able to get it. Only, there was this very dark time of her life, darkest phase of her life, where she could not, because she also had to learn, she had to find, perfection in her imperfections. And for him, he was always so perfect, always told he's perfect, there's nothing wrong with him. He had to fall in love with his imperfections totally. Like he had to tell his parents, I'm not that great. Maybe I'm very good in something. Maybe I'm very good in this or that. But there are many other areas where I'm not that great, and I need to learn about them, and I need to know about them. If you're going to constantly keep telling me that I'm great, I'm perfect, I'm amazing, that has also put a lot of pressure on me, because I am trying to make everything too perfect. And there is nothing which is too perfect. There's nothing perfect, so how can it be too perfect? And then he looks at this feminine who is imperfect according to him from all possible angles, you know. And he feels that she's living much better life, she's much happier, because as I said, the timeline of the dark nights is different. Her dark nights come much before and his dark nights come later on. Towards the end of the cycle he gets those. So the more he goes through the dark nights, the more she has healed on all her chakras, because his his dark nights have got a lot to do with her chakra healing. If her sacral chakra is healed, he will go through dark nights. And she also goes through dark nights. Don't think that she doesn't go through dark nights, but her dark nights are very different experience wise as for him. Towards the end of the dark nights, both of them get a lot, of course, because the more they accept, the more they understand that they're on this on their own. They have to be independent. He needs to develop his nurturing qualities, his feminine qualities, his emotional side. And she needs to bring out her practical side, her logical side, her independent side, her fearless side. She is fearless in front of the biggest goons now. She is like, oh, come on, you can't do anything to me. But you should be scared because I might do something to you. She's not scared at all. She's become a fearless soul, what she naturally should be. And because he is connected to her, he is the mirror. So he also learns that I should not fear pain, I should not fear this, I should not fear that. I don't want to be afraid anymore of life. Life is fine, So when he is in those energies, he feels that he's questioning her, he's talking to her as if she's in front of him, and he's kind of making offers to her that, if we do this, you're going to get to be with me, in a sarcastic way, because he used to say that, you're going to get to be with me. So he says that you're going to be with me, but at the same time, I'm not going to come alone. I'll bring a lot of things for you. I'll bring travel for you. I'll bring, some experience for you. He always had this habit, by the way. If you know your masculines really well, by now you would know that they always like to do some kind of a barter deal. But now the deal he's making, it's not logical or practical. It's more about emotional, he's talking more about love, about experiences, that I can love you. You are my love. You're close to me. I'm going to make you close to me too. You are my medicine, because love is the only medicine that can heal all the sickness of this world, which he has realized. So he says, you're my medicine, So she says, why is this business deal or this barter deal looks like there's more in it for you and less for me? Although you're saying you're going to get me, but it's more like, you are getting more. So this is a very interesting conversation, because he's actually talking to her as if she is there. Because he started knowing her so well now, he knows that she's going to respond like this, she's going to make such face, or she's going to punch him, or she's going to jump on him, or she's just going to not talk to him. Whatever she's going to do, he's not afraid of that anymore. A lot of you divine feminines will have a hard time digesting this, as much as I sometimes have a hard time digesting things, but when they really happen, I actually think that I'd never even imagined this in my wildest dreams, that this can happen. So probably, this specific situation may not even happen, this dialogue delivery or whatever it is. But it is the feeling, a feeling that if you are honest and true in your path, then there is so much that can happen. And every time it happens to you, you would actually think, even if I'm telling this to you right now, even if you heard it from my mouth right now, you would still say it, that I never even imagined that this could happen. Because the feminine has to go deeper and deeper into the murk, into the dirt, into all the disease, everything, the darkness. She has to see all corners of it. It's not easy. It's very easy to see darkness in others, but when you have to look for that darkness within, because you got to understand that the darkness, there is some hidden darkness, there's something hidden, traumatic, painful, sickening, shameful, guiltful. That's why she's seeing it in the outside world. The outside world may be really nice, But because there is so much pain within, she's seeing this pain outside. So I have to find that pain, the cause of the pain. And then she derives power from the same pain. The pain that was torturing her throughout her life is now giving her strength and courage and telling her, this is the worst. You realize this is the worst. What can happen? What worse can happen if this is the worst? People have treated her so badly. Men have treated her badly. I don't want to paint her as a victim. But then she was also not, that intelligent or that wise. She could not understand between their intentions or their words and actions. So I'm going to talk about her pain here, or I'm talking about her energy here, because her energy is created the mirror reflection. Because when she feels that peace and tranquility, that then only she lets go of him. That's why I keep mentioning timeline. So first she lets go of him. She feels the peace. She feels the sometimes being melancholy. I don't know why I say this word so strangely each time. Is not that bad actually. Being in solitude. A lot of people are scared of being in solitude. Lots of people are scared of being alone. So why do I mention the dark night? The most difficult dark night is because for the feminine, how do things change? Why does she stop chasing? You have to understand. As I keep saying, that there are two ways she finds. Either she does self-inner work, or she finds some therapy. She finds a therapist, or she finds a book, or she finds something happens that her chakras get healed, And the only way to heal your chakra is to know where the traumas are. Either you need hand-holding, you need somebody who can help you out, or you can do it on your own. There is no ego involved in that, let me tell you. Doing something on your own has no ego, and taking help from other person, or, going up to a therapist, taking some services, maybe, it helps, maybe it doesn't help. I don't know about that personally, because personally I try to do my best, and as much as I can do, I try to do it. Rest, I think there is some magic that the universe also does, because things happen in such a way in people's life that they somehow match with the therapy. Like when we are doing root chakra therapy, or when we are doing sacral chakra healing, or when we are doing solar plexus healing, something or the other, and everyone has said this to me. Maybe there's a session that is supposed to happen today at 4 p.m. And it doesn't happen because of some unavoidable circumstances. And, I say, okay, let's do it next week. Maybe it is from my side, and maybe it is from the other person's side. And within that 1 week, something happens which is perfect for our healing. And I go like, oh my God, this is so predestined, you going through this situation and you feeling helpless and you're in pain, and then we had to reschedule the session. If I would have done this session today at 4 p.m., then we would have missed out on this situation, So how do I take credit for it? I cannot take any credit for it, my friends. I'm going to give the credit to source. I'm not even going to give the credit to you. Of course, you are the person in between, because you are the person who has this urge of healing your wounds. You can't just keep chasing the masculine. That's one thing for sure. The day you realize that you can't keep chasing this man, and as I had posted in one of my other channel, the Twin Flame Universe, I had posted that, I don't know who needs to hear this, but let that man miss you for some time. You're not letting him miss you at all. Energetically also you're not. So when the feminine doesn't want to do anything, then the universe will make it happen. Now, she feels free from the dependency and neediness that she has been going through. And that, how it happens, okay, let me tell you how it happens. It's really interesting actually. So she finds a way to do inner work or therapy, whatever, fine. And she starts to change. She starts to change, and she stops even being needy towards people who are not really doing anything. But then what happens is that those people who have looked down upon her or punished her in order to control her, she's not dependent on them. She is a different person altogether. And she realizes in a big way that she was punished for being a good person. No matter how much she pleased them, she's just a slave or a supply. And she is being pitted against them, because if she looks bad, they look good. Typical narcissistic way of dealing with things. So she is always the villain, she's always the villain. All the, everything. There are people with worse habits. They're probably doing, worst possible things in life, but they are accepted, but she's not. She's doing something healthy. She's doing something out of the league, out of the world. Maybe she wants to do something for the world and society. So somewhere she's reflecting that goodness, and they're punishing her for that goodness. So she feels that I don't want to be good anymore. And I keep telling you guys that the feminine becomes a badass. I don't want to be good anymore, especially in this situation where my goodness is not even being appreciated. Let me be good where the goodness is needed. And let me show them, because they've been painting me as the villain, that I'm the vamp, I'm the evil one, I'm the bad one, I'm the black sheep in the house, or in the family, or in the friends. I'm the, one who's not respected. So let me show it to them now. Let me show them my other colors also, which I used to use it, because remember, she grew up at a very early age. She has to be a street smart kid. She has to be someone who knows these things very well, how to get things done. Now, in her darkest hour, when she felt that she was neglected even more, she goes on like, let me tell you now. Let me show you now. She takes it like a challenge. So what they do instead is they punish her even more. Right? They punish her even more. They will do something really crazy, like they'll probably disown her from the property, or they'll probably ask her to leave, or they will themselves, the Brady Bunch, would leave her alone, lonely. And they know that she would be suffering at the hands of cruel people. She would be miserable. People would trouble her. They know each and everything, but they play it like a game, thinking that when she would have nowhere left to go, she would be under our domination, our control, and then she will do as what we say or what we want. Basically, it's all energetic. They themselves don't know what they're doing, really. I'll be honest. They are just under the control of their own minds. They don't know how to control their own minds. That's why they are in pain. So when this happens, when she is left all by herself for the big, bad, cruel world to feed on her, to destroy her, this is when the real feminine awakens. Let me tell this to you guys. She awakens like a hero. Do watch the documentary, The Hero's Journey. It's very nice. So when she goes like, actually, this is a good thing that happened. I'm very happy that they did this to me. And they are now completely, they might be showing a good picture to others, but it's me who really matters. I know their real faces now. They don't really give a damn about me. They don't give a rat's ass about me. So she becomes free. She starts doing things on her own. And what shock those people get is that they see that she is flourishing without them. And she's actually doing much better without them, and she handled the big, bad, cruel world as well. And the same world that was trying to scare her, the same world is now sort of friends with her, or she doesn't, again, give her access to them now. She's learned how to not give her access thanks to all of these people. And she's thanking her stars, that she's finding joy in her mission. And the masculine eventually, energetically gets joy from her. They are connected, they are more stronger. So now the same people who abandoned her, neglected her fully, they want her back. But she's not going to go back in the same way, because she's not the same person. She is dead. That person is dead. We die every single second. The person who was talking on this channeling 5 minutes ago is already dead. Now there's a new person right now here talking to you all. And then the next minute this person would be dead as well. Because we are dying every minute and we are living every minute. So she, with her independence, and she also learns to be low-key, because she realizes that when you're good, you gotta be low-key. You can't take credit for it, because you're not the one who's doing good. Because good and bad are the two sides of the same coin, actually. So there is no great virtue in being good, because the society is such, the world is such, they don't really actually understand goodness or being bad either. And she thinks that it's better to be bad, where it is required for you to be bad, because this is how the world is. It's a corrupt world. It's a bad place. Any which way, there are mean people. And then gradually she understands the same thing that I just said, that good and bad is actually the same thing. What the hell was I doing? There's no such thing as good and bad. It's all about being real. It's all about being authentic. It's all about being truthful. In India, we have great Guru Nanak Dev Ji. He had created Ek Onkar. Now, I don't know how many of you are Punjabis or how many of you are from Indian background that you would be aware about Ek Onkar. But Ek Onkar is a beautiful poetry, and it sort of talks about what actually source is. And there's one very nice word that Guru Nanak Dev Ji has used in that, and the word is called Sachiyara. Kive Sachiyara Hove. Let me sing a bit for you. I'll sing Ek Onkar for you. Ek Onkar Satnam Karta Purakh Nirbhav Nirvair Akal Murat Ajuni Sebhang Gur Prasad Jap आद सच जुगाद सच है भी सच नानक हो से भी सच. Such means truth. The word such in Hindi means truth. And when he says Ek Onkar, it means one, And then he says Satnam. Sat against another word for such, which is truth. So he is explaining by different words. Karta Purak. The one who's the doer. Nirbhav. Nirvair. Like fearless. No enemies. No friends, no enemies sort of a person. Akal Murat, beyond time. Ajuni Sebhang, which means this is formless. Source is formless. Not attached to any identity, personal identity. Gur Prasad, which means you can only get it with the grace of Guru. Jap. Jap means chant. Aad Sach, Jugad Sach, Hai Bhi Sach, Nanak Ho Se Bhi Sach. Which means it's everything. It's the journey, is the path of being truthful. Soche soch na hove, je soche lakhwar. Chuppe chup na hove, je lae raha livtar. पुकिया पुक ना उतरी जे पन्ना पुरिया पार सहस्याण पालख होई ता एक ना चली नाल किवे सच्ची यारे होवे किवे सच्ची यारा होवे किवे कूड़े टुट्टे पाल हुकुम रजाई चलना नानक लिखे आनाल. So let me explain it to you in a separate video. That would be nice actually. Even I'm getting that idea. But the word Sachiyara, I want to stress on that because he's telling the world that be Sachiyara. Be the person who's authentic. Because source isn't being authentic. Source is not in being good or bad. And this has a very beautiful meaning actually. This whole poetry has a beautiful meaning. I really, really love it. I really admire it. It's been so many years that I've been singing it. It's always gives me so much, feel very profound, So I'm going to make a separate video on it. A short video where I would just have the lyrics and the meaning. I just wanted to talk about the word Sachiyara or being authentic or being real. Now, both of them understand this, that they need to be real. They need to be authentic. And even she understands about the love that the masculine has, that if he's not around me, he's not around me. I cannot just imagine that he's around me. Yes, I can love him. He's not supposed to be physically there for me. She understands that part of the love. But she also understands that if things are not working out between him and her, then she can date other people. She can meet other people, she can talk to other people, and she also doesn't have to sexually present herself to the world when she doesn't want to. Or not all relationships have to be based around that. her own presence, talking to others, being on the phone, meeting them, that is big enough. She's doing a lot for others any which way. Why does she have to please others? She's not going to please anyone. She's not going to please her karmics, and she's not going to please, even if she's without the karmics, anybody else that would teach her the karmic lessons. For the masculine too, the others will not clutch him so hard that they'll almost kill him with that kind of a love. So he gets his own freedom. He also understands that this type of love is also unhealthy, where you're being smothered. And even though he may be acting as an average person in certain areas, because materialistically he would be average, let me tell you that. As in not materialistically sound, he will be financially sound. But he may not be like his other contemporaries. He doesn't want to be cutthroat, competitor, doing whatever it takes to be somewhere. Sometimes he thinks that, what am I going to do when I reach to that some place, what am I going to do? So on that note, I'm going to be closing this channeling, but not completely. This is just an end of this part. I'm going to be talking about whatever conversation he's having and whatever conversation is happening between him and the feminine, while she's physically may not be present, but in her emotional, etheric body, she's totally there with him. And that's the reason why you're going to resonate with that conversation. And I'm going to catch you soon in part 3 of the same session, where he knows, or he's questioning her, are you going to be with me, or are you going to be with me, or are you with me right now as I'm enjoying my solitude? So on that note, I'm going to catch you soon, very soon. One love and peace out. I'm going to be closing this channeling here now, because I have a counseling session which I have to attend, and it's a personal session, it's a private session, so I have to go for it. But I'll definitely come back. So my friends, I'm going to be putting a pause to this particular channeling session. It is not the end of it. There is a lot more coming your way, because he's going to be continuing the conversation that he has with her. And now that we have access to the energy, we know where exactly both of them stand. You would be able to resonate even more with the conversation that he's going to have with her etheric self. Not physically 3D wise, she may not be there, but in his heart and in his soul, and she's there now. He completely realizes that, and he is loving his solitude as much as she loves her solitude. They have both been hermits, and they've started loving the hermitage, and they love to share it with one another now. So I have a counseling session to attend. I'm going to be doing that, and I will get back to it and try to do the part 3 as soon as I can. On that note, thank you so much for being here with me. One love and peace out.